Queen Vizara's 6 eyes blazed with fury as she gazed down from her crystalline throne at General Koroth. The massive insectoid commander stood before her, his mandibles clicking nervously as he awaited her judgment. Behind him, instead of the promised army of 10,000 warriors, stood a single figure, a small, pale creature. In primitive clothing, explain, the queen hissed, her voice resonating through the bioacoustic chambers of her throat sacs. I sent you to conquer the third planet of the Sol system. You were to return with an army of slaves, to bolster our forces for the war against the hegemony. Instead, you bring this, the human, a female specimen with brown hair, tied back in what appeared to be a combat configuration, stood calmly beside the towering general. She showed no fear, despite being surrounded by the most feared military force in 3-star systems. General Koroth's compound eyes shifted patterns. Betraying his anxiety, my queen, he began. I followed your orders precisely. You demanded I bring back an army from Earth. I have done so. That, Vizara gestured with one of her razor-sharp appendages, is one creature. One small, soft, pathetic creature. Without armor, without natural weapons, without even basic combat modifications. Your Majesty, the human spoke. For the first time, her voice clear and steady. My name is Colonel Sarah Martinez, United Earth Defense Force, and your general is correct. He has brought you an army. The Queen's courtiers buzzed with alarm at the creature's audacity. Several royal guards raised their plasma rifles. Waiting for the signal to vaporize the insolent being, Vizara leaned forward, intrigued, despite her rage. Explain yourself, little creature, before I have you dissected for scientific study. Martinez smiled, an expression that made several hardened warriors instinctively step back. General Koroth observed our species for 3 cycles. As per standard protocol, he studied our military structures, our technologies, our social hierarchies, and what he discovered was that humans don't operate like other species in your database. The general nodded rapidly. My queen, their entire military philosophy is based on multiplication of force. One human soldier doesn't represent one unit of combat power. They represent exponential capability. Impossible, scoffed Commander Drek, the Queen's chief military advisor. No single organism can match the might of thousands. Martinez reached slowly into her jacket, every weapon in the room tracking her movement. She withdrew a small, innocuous device, a simple black rectangle. This is a standard Earth military communicator. May I demonstrate? The Queen gestured her permission, curiosity overriding caution. Martinez spoke into the device. Colonel Martinez to Fleet Command. Confirmation, Code Alpha 77. Execute Protocol Damocles. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the palace's quantum sensors began screaming alerts. My queen. The sensor operator's voice cracked with panic. Massive gravimetric anomalies detected. Ships decloaking throughout the system. The main display activated, showing the space around their homeworld. Hundreds of vessels materialized from stealth fields. Sleek, predatory ships. Ones that hadn't been there moments ago. But that wasn't what made the assembled court gasp in terror. Each ship bore the same insignia as the patch on Martinez's uniform. Impossible. One courtier whispered, our sensors detected no fleet. No staging areas, no supply lines. Martinez tucked the communicator away. Humans learned long ago, she said calmly, that the best army is the one your enemy never sees coming. While your general was studying us, we were studying you. Every system your scouts visited, every communication they transmitted, every tactical assessment they made. We tracked it all. The Queen's exoskeleton began to pale. You were expecting us, Your Majesty, Martinez replied. Humans have been preparing for contact with hostile alien forces since we first looked up at the stars. Did you really think the first species to achieve interstellar travel would be unprepared for the second? General Koroth's mandibles clicked in what might have been admiration. My queen, this creature, her entire species operates as a single military unit. Every human is connected through their communication networks. Every civilian is a potential intelligence asset. Every soldier multiplies the effectiveness of every other soldier. Martinez nodded approvingly. Your general understood something your enemies never did. You asked for an army, and he brought you one. Every human is an army of 7 billion connected by instantaneous communication, backed by industrial capacity you can't imagine, and trained by generations of warfare against ourselves. The fleet displays showed Earth vessels taking position around every major installation in the system. Not threatening, simply present. Martinez continued conversationally. Your general mentioned you're at war with something called the hegemony. Earth's Xenosociology department has run probability analyses on multi-species galactic conflicts. We'd like to offer our assistance in ending this war. The Queen found her voice. You would help us. Martinez's smile turned predatory. Your Majesty, humans have one rule about war. We always win. The only question is whether we win with you, or after we finish with you. She paused, letting that sink in. General Koroth brought you exactly what you asked for, an army from Earth. The question now is, do you want us as allies, or would you prefer to find out why every species that's ever fought humans has learned to regret it? Queen Vizara looked at the display, showing her homeworld surrounded by human ships, then at the small creatures standing calmly in her throne room, and finally, at General Koroth, who had somehow managed to conquer an entire star system. By bringing back a single human, she began to understand why her general looked so pleased with himself. "Welcome to the Vixaran Empire, Colonel Martinez," the queen said carefully. "Perhaps we should discuss terms of alliance." Martinez nodded. "I thought you might see it that way, Your Majesty. Humans do so prefer cooperation to conquest." The unspoken threat hung in the air, like a sword